on the behalf of IHM Ranchi, welcome you to our first international conference at IHM Ranchi. I feel privileged to introduce you all about the esteemed institute, IHM Ranchi. IHM Ranchi, Institute of Hotel Management, Catering Technology and Applied Nutrition, Ranchi is an autonomous institution of Department of Tourism, Art and Culture, Sports and Youth Affairs, Government of Jharkhand. IHM Ranchi has been awarded as Most Admired Hotel Management Institute of the Year at Nations Education 2022. The theme of our international conference is Promotion and Advertising of Leisure Activities for Sustainability of Hospitality, Palash. Shri Alok Aswar, HOD, IHM Ranchi, for welcome.
Professors, lecturers, researchers, students, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of IHM Ranchi, I welcome you all for first international conference on travel, tourism, hospitality and culture 2022 being conducted by IHM Ranchi. The conference is conducted on hybrid mode. The international conference will discuss and deliberate in the field of tourism and hospitality on the theme promotion and advertising of leisure activities for sustainability of hospitality that we call PALAS. The conference will cover the field of tourism and hospitality with the perspective of education, services, humanity, environment and sustainability development through research and expert knowledge. Moreover, I honorably welcome our keynote from Birmingham City Business School, Professor Manohar Sajnani from MIT University, Professor Ashish Daya from Maharishi Dayanand University, Professor Parikshit Singh Manhas from University of Jammu. It is my pleasure to introduce you to our technical session chair of the conference, Mr. Nishit Srivastava, Principal IHM Calcutta, Mr. Pankaj Chatterjee, Associate Professor, RKTF University, Ranchi, Mr. Arga Chakravarti, Principal IHM Gurdaspur, Dr. Nishant Kumar, Assistant Professor, VIT, Mishra, Ranchi, Dr. Anand Kumar Singh, Principal, IHM Bhopal, Dr. Sonia Sarma, Associate Professor, IGNOU, Dr. Urvasi, Director, Tuli, College of Hotel Management, Nagpur, Dr. R.T. Mishram, Principal, Government Institute of Hotel Management, Nagpur, Dr. Amit Kumar, Professor, City University, Punjab. I welcome Dr. Bharti Gupta, Assistant Professor, Central University of Jammu, Jammu, for her contribution on the session on how to write and publish research papers in international journals. I would like to welcome all the delegates to make this conference truly successful. The aim of the conference is to bring tourism and hospitality researchers together to deliberate on the subjects related to travel, tourism, hospitality and culture. I wish you all will have a very productive conference with exciting and encouraging discussions and exchange of knowledge, so that together we can anticipate a future for groundbreaking knowledge research for communities. Thank you.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank the people of IHM Ranchi that is MB and conference committee has given me the.
The skills learned even 10 years before are becoming obsolete due to such high involvement in technology and trends. I'm sure all my learned friends sitting out here would relate to what I'm saying, as because the pandemic has been such a great teacher and they have taught us so many new skills that we were unaware of before 2020. This has created the need like never before to reskill and upskill the global workforce. With this, I, Shogivas Mukhopadhyay, and my co-presenter, Ms. Rita Mitra, wish you a very good morning and commence with today's point of discussion on the prospects of reskilling and upskilling the employees in the hospitality industry. So this is the era of evolvement due to such technological advancements and digitalization. Jobs are constantly becoming obsolete because of this extreme change in technology over the time, and that is why the global workforce is under constant pressure to fill up the skill gap that is happening every now and then. This actually, if you see that there is a report that has been generated by the Future of the Jobs, where the World Economic Forum has said that 50% of the employees would need to be reskilled or upskilled by the year 2025 if they still want to hold on to their jobs, their current profiles. This brings us to the two key terms of our research presentation: reskilling and upskilling. Reskilling is basically the process of learning new skills so that we can do a different job within the current organization, and upskilling is the process of upgrading the current skill set so that we can perform more advanced jobs within our current job responsibility.
8 million new job opportunities are anticipated to be generated. In fact, it is already happening that we see around. Most of the companies around the world are reluctant to reskill and upskill their people due to the monetary constraint and the deficiency of the suitable technology which is going to support their or support the initiative of reskilling their people or upskilling their people, and also to remove or reduce the skill gap. Both reskilling and upskilling schemes can be introduced in an organization by creating a career path opportunities. Presently, everyone knows, in whatever age category they are, that they will have to at one point of time either reskill or upskill to stay in the organization. Pandemic or natural disaster. It is always followed by an economic downfall, but at the same time, it brings in certain growth as well, like digital transformation, new job roles, and automation. A structured questionnaire, and in an online mode again, we had forwarded it to HR and L&D departments of hospitality industry, and we received approximately 76 responses, out of which about 64 were complete, and so we had analyzed. Some of the key points that I am going to speak about the analysis. You'll be pleasantly surprised to know about 90% respondent prefer to retrain and retain their experienced staff even if they are of 50 years of age. It is highly appreciated that 71% prefer to reskill their existing staff to fill up the vacancies, and about 46% of them were agreeing to upskill and promote to fill up their vacancies. About 21% they were into hiring new people or fresh people in the industry. And about 55% stated that organizations that they were working in do not take any initiative or invest in reskilling and upskilling their staff, which is technically or literally very, very sad. Even though reskilling your existing staff is more cost effective, still it is hardly taken care of in an industry. I'm happy to say that about 80% of our respondents, they agreed or they preferred to reskill and upskill their staff in their organization. And last but not the least, I would say we had also asked about to the people that whether they had given pink slips to their staff in the hotel or in the hospital or in the retail. So about 70% said no and 30% said yes, they had given, but the real picture that I had seen or heard is kind of a little different. So to conclude, I will over to Srinivas.
Time and again to see whether the training program is actually put into use or not. Lastly, to conclude, we hereby prove and conclude that reskilling and upskilling are the most important initiatives to prepare the global workforce for the challenges that are coming up in future. Reskilling and upskilling not only instills self-confidence and self-motivation within the staff, but it also gives them a sense of belongingness and makes them feel that the company is taking care of them. Lastly, ending our discussion with these two valuable lines by Peter Drucker, he says that the only skill that will be important in this 21st century and going beyond this is the skill of learning new skills. Rest everything becomes obsolete with time.
This is a fine, crisp, small, and you were in time only.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I have a small question.
Yes.
That when you've done this questionnaire between 70-80 people, what are the difficulties you found?
Actually changes the data, that is what I said at the end. Pink slip was, the respondent, 70% respondents said that they have not given. But if you actually practically see, every other person from every other hotel that we have heard literally were actually given a pink slip. But I think they did not, open up when it is a questionnaire. They fill up and I cannot directly ask them questions. So there is a little manipulation, I really feel so.
And also, sir, just to add on to a point, when we take a face-to-face interview, it adds up to the seriousness. Out there, we forwarded the link, so they have just done it for the. We think that most of them have done it for the sake of just.
In the whole presentation, certain things we are missing, which I feel. Number one, the reskilling and upskilling is not defined.
Yes, sir. Define. Yes, sir, we did.
Presentation.
In the presentation, okay. All right, sir.
Because here
I was spoken out, but not written there. Yes, sir.
And one second slide, you said decrease volunteerism. So what does it mean? What is volunteerism?
Exploit. They are not getting back from the society. They are not willing to be involved in the society as well, sir. They are not willing to do anything for their surrounding. They become selfish and they don't want to involve themselves in anything. And that also are leading to increase the crime rates because they are somehow managing to survive. So,
Words.
Right. And when we are talking about 79 questionnaire, it is a particular area. So there is a
Yes, sir.
mismatch. Like either we are talking about
No, that
when
is
we
the
do
review
a survey,
application.
we always define the area. Okay, I am doing in India, I am doing in general. Okay, fine. I just think that they need to be defined a little bit in the next presentation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir.
The point is that it came to my mind as you were making the presentation. Anyway, whatever Mr. Chatterjee also question was my mind, anyway that question is already addressed. But the second question which obviously came to my mind was that what is the way forward? I mean, what are the different linkages, potential researches which can be drawn from this? It is a broad overview. It is sort of exploratory thing. You all know that it is upskilling and reskilling is required by hunch of our experience or whatever in interface with the industry. But the point is, we have got all the connected to the HR people. What are the other offshoots from this research can integrate forward? I mean, you just tell me you just name a topic which can sort of just.
Yes, sir, to retain their staff, even if they are, getting older and they are experienced. It is there in their mind, but also because of the lack of, the technology or lack of the internal support, they are unable to do. So this is at least understood the mind of the people who are in the industry that they are willing. In fact, the workers are also willing to take, these trainings so that they can stay in the organization. So at least this much is clarified that people who are there in the industry are willing to do so, reskilling and upskilling.
Now they cannot be accessed for reskilling or upskilling. But is that those employees who are retrenched can have their own upskilling or reskilling mechanism online or through any media, so that again that experience they can plow there.
So, sir, companies should also move from just recruiting staff to acquiring talent. So these people who already have experience and skill, they can come under the talent pool and that talent acquisition can happen. So that even if they are not reskilled or upskilled, but their current skill set can be utilized and that can be built on.
Very good. Thank you.
I would like to call upon Dr. Goldie Puri to present their research paper titled Success Factors of Online Courses offered by Tourism and Hospitality.
So after a long time the freshest and energetic faces of the students on this outset of this international conference. So, can you pick up the presentation? Sure. Okay, so on the outset of this international conference on travel, tourism, hospitality and culture 2022, promotion and advertising of leisure activities and sustainability of hospitality. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Bhupesh Kumar, Principal, and Mr. Alok Aswal, and Session Chair Mr. Shrivastava, Mr. Chatterjee, fellow colleagues, Mr. Chakrabarti IHM, Principal IHM, dear students, faculty, staff members and other stakeholders, distinguished guests. So, this is offered by Tourism and Hospitality Institute. So we have seen that this pandemic have kept at our home boundaries, and each presentation or presenter is you are forced to or university or institute started the online courses. But how do we make sure that these online courses are successful or not? So I try to next slide. I try to done an extensive review of the literature where I try to highlight or bring out the most important construct or most important things which are which are very critical for the success for any online course offered by any institute or a university. So we have seen that the online courses generate enormous excitement and education all over the world. It offers the potential to provide learning new audiences. So we seen that there are a lot of people in academia, those who want to pursue PhD, but they have due to the time constraint and other things, or there are chefs and there are other F&B managers, those who are into the industry and they are working day and night, but they don't have the physical boundaries to go for their reskilling, which we have seen in the last paper. So with this reskilling and upgradation of skills, that can be happen through the online courses offered. So we have seen that how fundamentally our education system is redefined by these online courses. Even we have seen our kids at the school, those who are at the age of 5 or 6, they started with the online education. So future is coming. Future is with the online courses. So we try to see that what are the factors which are the most important, which can bring out the most of our online education. So we see that the technology is helping us. Technology is helping in every sphere, but still we are not compatible with the technology because the technology is upgrading at a very fast pace. We have seen even the academia professor at the maximum experience, they are not comfortable with the technology. So because the adoption of technology is not easy, because we have seen that young generation, those who are into schools and the people like. So we have seen that this online courses started by the university have allowed them to go to the wider places or to the maximum audience, or they try to widen their basis. So now I am coming to the critical success factor. So critical success factor, they come into existence in 1980, and with the idea that why some organizations are more successful and why some organizations are failures. So these critical success factors are defining our area. So critical success factors are the things that must be done if a firm is to be successful. So we have seen in our some hotels are very successful, some organizations very successful. So what are the?
I am a student of MTTM IPU. My belongingness from Patna, Bihar. I started with some research paper, so I identify some critical issue in an opportunity for a startup, and I also try to operate this restaurant which is in Bangalore, Gumnam Rasoi, in last year in lockdown session. So I just explored the things and what are the challenges and faces by me. So I did this starting with exploring success strategy of Indian startup with global footprint in food and beverage industry. Objective of the study is to understand the life cycle of Indian startup. Second objective is to explore how Indian startups are mature and how. My scope of efficiency and scale are two steps. And third step is growth, during which maintenance and sales renewal be important step of event of life cycle of startup. My research methodology, which is based on exploratory research, which is qualitative design, and analyze the opportunity and challenges faced by the Indian startup in food industry. Primary data collected by online and questionnaire framing and analyze some case study. And I went through some magazines and books, newspaper, journals, so which is the secondary data. And my collections method with the questionnaire basically, which is based on the closed ended section questions and multiple choice questions based in the questionnaire sections to male and female who aspire to open their startup. My finding and conclusion, which is the current scenario of tourism hospitality industry is on expansion mode. Vast changes from the introduction of artificial intelligence to digitization, everything has been welcome. जो भी हमारे न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ कर रहे हैं उसको हम कितना ज़्यादा प्रमोट कर सकते हैं उसमें मैंने फाइंडिंग किया. और in order to advance, Open has to come up with something
regarding this startups and all. But I'll tell you truly, I don't know what sir will say, but I found your entire presentation was like a story. I could not find any data, because when you come to this, only 5-6 slides are enough, and on that data you need to talk. Rather than it was like a story, and then when we attended class or when we deliver lecture, it was something like that. What I found. So this was if you look into when you go for a next presentation.
I agree with sir. And in the whole presentation, what I said when you are talking about questionnaire, number one, demography is missing. Which area you are doing, because you are talking about the startup, and then it's a global footprint. But in the entire presentation, no global scenario came anywhere. So we really don't know what global footprint we are talking about. We are talking about global tie-up, or we are trying to create global product. So that is somewhere. There is nowhere stakeholders were mentioned. Who are my stakeholders? Say if I am going to start a startup, so certainly I will do a market survey, and then this is my target area, this is my, so accordingly my product will be developed. So I think this was first presentation, very good effort, but you need to reshape your total presentation, and especially add area, in which area you are trying to do it, because as per, like if I am doing in Bihar and if I am doing in Maharashtra, the total scenario will change.
Yeah, yes, specific locations.
Yeah, or if you are doing all over India, like we are doing online marketing or something, then the total your setup will be changed. Right? So this is very, very important. Number two, stakeholders, as I mentioned, and nowhere global things are not anywhere mentioned. What global are you talking about as per your knowledge? So what you have in mind, global means?
Sir, in this paper, I think maybe slide PPT presentation will miss out, but in paper.
So what is, tell us?
It is based on like India. I just conclude the total how it work in India with the startup in food, cloud kitchen, and as well as food and beverage जो रेस्टोरेंट है वो कैसे अपने आप को मतलब ग्रो करता है, तो उसके डेटा को मैंने
whatever you presented, nothing is mentioned here. Right? So please.
Myself, Anindita Bharadwaj. Firstly, I would like to give a brief about myself. I have graduated from ICTTHC Kolkata in 2002. And I started my academics career with ICTTHC in 2006, and I joined ICTTHC as senior lecturer in 2019. And I am also a research scholar at CT University Ludhiana, and my guidance perception towards housekeeping services in luxury hotels of India. So, as we all know, that housekeeping is the backbone of India. There are many housekeepers sitting here, and they will agree with my statement, and all the hoteliers here, that of course housekeeping is the backbone, and guests spend their maximum time in the hotel after their business or after either they are in a resort, they enjoy their time, and they come back to their room. So, in the introduction, my points are: the guest experience at a hotel is influenced by concrete and intangible factors. Concrete will include my laundry, linen, towels, etc., the valet service, whatever is there, what you see, and intangible will be whether the experience when I go into a room, whether I really get a good, pleasant place where I can stay. Urgent concerns for hotel management are the satisfaction for their guests. For any hotel, here I am talking about luxury hotels, for any hotel, satisfaction of the guest will always lead to our repeat business. Housekeeping encompasses not only cleanliness of guest rooms, public areas, linen and meal service clothing. That is also a very important part of housekeeping, because we only talk about housekeeping, linen, towels, bedsheet, bath mats, but of course, F&B linen is equally important for housekeeping, because there also we get repeat business in the restaurant. And for this, hotel uses feedback form, online guest comment card, different platform on which guest gives us the feedback, from which we can know the guest experience, and accordingly the hotels improve according to the comments given by the guests. My objectives of the study are to study the service quality offered by housekeeping department of hotels, and to assess the consumer perception towards housekeeping department of hotels. How we perceive it, and what the guest feels about our service. In the methodology, a survey was conducted in which I had sent a questionnaire. The primary data was collected from hotels, and the secondary data was taken from magazines, e-books and other electronic media, in which I had got 80 respondents. The data analysis was mainly based on the demographic variables, which included gender, age, education qualification, times mostly visited, and how often the guest visited the F&B outlets, as well as the guest stayed as a resident guest in the hotel. The second variable was on the service quality offered by housekeeping, and the third was the guest satisfaction level with housekeeping, and in which were satisfied with the housekeeping services, and 44% of the females. And from the data analysis, I concluded that guest satisfaction, happiness and loyalty are directly related to the intangible quality of service delivered by hotel employees. These factors mainly influence the guest satisfaction. And maintaining a high quality of guest service requires well-trained workers that are committed to client satisfaction. And to get well-trained workers, the trainings, it's on the job or off the job for the employees becomes all the more important if we want maximum guest satisfaction from our customers who visit us. And the findings which I could make it out was profit margins aren't as crucial as customer satisfaction, because if we only want satisfaction, because if we satisfy our customer, automatically we get the profits, we get the business. And favorable hotel experience encourages and positive word of mouth. Positive word of mouth, it can be our friends or family, and of course the websites and the online are more influential nowadays than the word of mouth. So, should I put on presentation? I do have it, but this.
You should not say anything, so.
Wait. The presentation was not there.
Yeah, there was a little interruption on the presentation. But your presentation was absolutely fine. So I have one question, like you told you have done this survey and questionnaire from different hotels.
And I requested them to please do the needful for me through my contacts, and they gave me the response. I had floated around for about 200 people. So in some of the things I taken a general idea, average, okay fine, I'll go by this data. Yes, I had spoken to, working with Radisson, I had spoken to her, and then I had spoken to Mr. Sanjeev Saxena. He had mentioned the executive hospital, so this way I had tried to contact people.
In terms of housekeeping and upgrading of guests and all this, what your topic says.
They do, because guests have become more fussy. They are spending more time, so that sanitization part, hygienic part, and many a times the guest says, even if the room is ready, please make it in front of us. That challenges the housekeepers are facing.
We'll take over the different operations which are being done right now, so the technology will play a vital role in that. Noted that the things have been changed and have been deeply impacted the hospitality sector. Some of the practices will entirely change. I'm talking about the front office as well as the other departments. Some of the practices will entirely change and some will lose their significance. The new normal will be focused on majorly on hygiene, cleanliness and digitalization of operations and reduced human contact. The role of technology, it cannot be ignored. So that these are certain conclusions which have been drawn from the study. It's longer.
Okay, rather telephonic discussion you told you had for collection of these samples and all. What, according to you, the post and pre and post COVID findings, the best one what you found out of that? While talking to the front office managers and all, while you have done this survey, and what is the innovative part of that? Because your topic says that innovative front office practices.
Yeah. Sir, the practices have definitely evolved, and the digitalization as well as the use of technology. I mentioned regarding the reservations, regarding the check-in processes, regarding the transactions of the monetary transactions. So I think in each and every step, the technology and innovation will play its role, as well as it is time that we can use certain because the guests and the people will be attracted to those hotels which are more safer, more hygienic, and they are evolved. They are using sustainable and eco-friendly practices. So that is the main focus. That the conclusions also say that yes, these things are going to happen and they will be the new normal in the coming days.
Okay. Thank you. Over to the section made by you. So two things. You said innovative, but we have not found anything innovative. Only thing you mentioned, technological intervention in your findings. That is what we are about to pursue it further. Thanks for joining us. Okay.
All right.
So it is only a suggestion to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rahul.
Thank you, sir.
People presenters, please.
स्टैंड को आगे लाइए, स्टैंड आगे लाइए सर, बीच में लाइए, एक मिनट सर, थैंक यू। सर रेडी, शेयर, स्माइल। There.
Dr. Goldie.
So once again, Alokji, I am very thankful to you so that
Sir.
we got a chance
Sir. Share smile. Thank you, sir.
You are also my Facebook friend. No.
Mr. John.
Share smile. Good. Sir. Thank you. Sir, share smile. Sir, share smile. Sir. Sir. Thank you.
All participants, paper presenters over here. Now there will be a tea break at the restaurant, Wahi Mokhna, and at 1:30 we will be starting the inaugural session as Mr. Governor is coming at the ICTTHC today. Thank you.